Hey Terrell, how's it going? Hey Brenton, how you doing? Alright, we're opening up a new batch of A's. I used up the rest of it the other day. What's up, Raz? Busy day today. Damn, summer's coming up fast. We have one day of spring, and then all of a sudden it went from 70 degrees to 85 over one day. So I got to start prepping the AC units and grass and all that stuff. I just pulled this out of the fridge, that's why it's so tough at the moment. Now, this was some extra B from the previous red, so what I like to do is sort of mix the equal amounts of the new stuff and throw a little bit extra of this so I don't waste it. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I'll just throw a little bit extra in here. It's not going to kill it, so I don't waste it. So my stream the other day, when I just disappeared, somebody hit a pole by the post office down the road, and I was without power for about a good 4 to 5 hours. Hey, what's up, Vigilante? So the power came back on 2 hours later for like 3 seconds, and it went back off again. So basically I was sitting here in the dark just doing random stuff around the house. It's a good thing I didn't actually start mixing A's or like really start painting something, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to mess with it for a few hours, which would suck. And I was getting into it too, I was ready to finish up those busts. Well, that's the thing. I would have went in the garage and did some work, but it started, you know, getting darker out because the night was kind of coming, and I wasn't really getting a lot of sun in the garage, so I couldn't really see much in there. So, hey, what's up, Iceman? Just one of those days. So I kind of said, screw it, did shit around the house, and then called it a day. Hey, what's up, Raccoon? Alright, so just to go over this one more time, show you guys. These leaves are all secured now. So we have the rods on there. And then if we put this in correctly, these are all magnetized now too, so that clicks in there pretty well. This piece here should click in. That's magnetized, and then that part and that's magnetized. So now all these leaves pretty much set. So even this wobbles just a little bit. It's not, they're not gonna, they shouldn't break because we have those rods. Oh, the internet bill's paid. It's just that if nobody smashes a telephone pole again, we'll be good for the day. If. That's a big if. Alright, so what we're gonna do is, I think do I have that one piece? Or did I throw it away? Guess I threw it away. Yep, I'm gonna go back to dial up. That's where the money's at. Be so slow, hackers wouldn't even bother trying to mess with you. They'd be like, what the hell does this guy have? Grab our glue. I'm attaching this because If I don't, this stuff will break. Okay, so do I have any rubber brushes? Hey Scott, what's going on? Alright, that brush is gone. Yeah, I had a really big lunch. I went and got a burger today, and the place I got it at, the thing was humongous. So after I ate that damn thing, I took a nice long walk down to the bay, sat down there for about, I don't know, maybe like a half hour. Nice cool breeze. But figured gotta get my ass back to work though. Okay. That's glued on there pretty well. Next step is we're going to sort of seam it up a bit. I mean, one thing I don't understand is why is there a branch on a rock like this? Is this like a normal thing I don't know about? I was thinking of maybe sculpting a little dirt and grass around the top of it. You would have liked this burger. The thing was... I've been looking for a good burger place, and sure enough, there's this little hole in the wall a town over that I pass by all the time, but I thought they only sold hot dogs. So, sure enough, my dentist told me about it. So now they got great cheesesteaks and hamburgers, so... And they're not that expensive yet compared to other places. Yeah, it's even my there's a diner like right down the road from me, like literally 2 minutes down the road, and a hamburger with fries from them is almost $18 now. It used to be like 11. So no, the hole in the wall places are the best. Those bugs give it flavor. So. Nah, it's a good place. Just two guys are in there. It's a little small, little dinky place. It's really good. It doesn't look like they have a lot of overhead either, so. Yeah, they were there for a few years, and it's called Dewey's Hot Dogs. You know, like famous world Dewey's Hot Dogs. But I didn't know that they were they served other stuff there. I thought it was just like a specialty hot dog place, and I don't really eat hot dogs. But sure enough, come to find out, they got everything. So a little hole in the walls are the best places to hit. Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, there was a pulled pork place near me too. And they closed down as well. I don't know why. How's the weather by you guys? You guys getting the warm weather yet? Actually, just called before I started the stream the AC guy that installed my units to get on his list for a servicing before the season starts, and I can't get a hold of him, so I try to service him every year so this way nothing goes wrong. It was summer, so what, are you going into the fall now, Iceman? Winter? Oh yeah, it's like 80 here today as well. Actually, I think it's like 85 now. I was going to put the AC unit on, but it's already 4 o'clock, so it's starting to get cool again. Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be this hot. Otherwise, this morning I would have pulled off the wrapping off my window AC unit in the back of the house. But I didn't realize. But it's still cool at night, though. It drops down to like 50 still here, so nights are cool for now. But it's supposed to go back to like, I think, 60s next week. That's okay. I welcome the heat. I'm done with the winter. I'm done with it. My gas bill is very expensive in the winter because I'm by the water. At least now for the summertime, my AC bill will be like only like $65 a month or so. So that's good. Hey, what's up, Rukin? Real temperatures? You mean wrong? The oddballs. The not normal people. I'm excited for tomorrow. My Amazon order should be in. I can finish up my TV room, at least the display on the TV side. So at least I'll have a nice display going with that till the corner case comes in. Yeah, I'm gonna work on Harley's hair in a bit. I just wanted to get this part attached. Almost ready to start painting up Psylocke. I just wanted to get all this stuff ready to go, and I'm gonna start trying to get that video series going. Maybe next week I'll start painting her up. Yeah, well, I didn't change the tree position, I changed the leaves. I'll show you in a second. Everything's magnetized, and I took off one of them. So instead of having all those leaves, I want to test out Psylocke too real quick, make sure her sash doesn't hit anything, just to double check. Just let me get this secured on real quick. I figure this being nice and solid on this piece won't, you don't have to worry about it breaking or anything. No, I don't scan to make copies. That would be considered recasting, since I'm using, you know, licensed items. So now that's something I wouldn't venture into. Yeah, so Rukin, there's, what I did is I put metal rods on here. So there's a metal rod here, there's a metal rod here, there's one bent up here, and there's one over here. And then on this side, there's a big metal rod going with all this Aves, so it's really secure now. And then what I did is I put magnets with the two hollow brass rods. I think it goes this way. So that just clicks on there like that. This one, same thing. That just goes. If I can see which way I'm doing it. Which way? Like just like that. And then this one, same thing here. So now I don't have to worry about these snapping off. These things are on there pretty good. Wash my hands real quick. Alright, so Psylocke's body goes in there pretty well. Let me grab the sash. SWAT Cats? I don't even know what SWAT Cats is now. I don't think I've ever heard of it. Alright. So the sash doesn't hit any of the flowers. And it works out pretty well. So I'm happy with that. Everything is magnetized. Got all the rocks magnetized for the base. Those are magnetized. We got this piece magnetized as well, so that goes in there. Like when in the 90s did it come out? I was in high school around 93, so I'm kind of more of, I was born in 77, so a lot of my cartoons are more of like the 85 to 87, 89, so if it's kind of like a mid-90s thing, I probably don't know what it is. You know, I was more into like the Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Tom and Jerry, stuff like that growing up. Sort of, I caught the tail end of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I wasn't really into them. Yeah, 93 to 95, I was in high school, so that was more, I was kind of not really into the whole, what was going on then. You know, that was more high school stuff, going out drinking, partying, really into music more than of, you know, the grunge music, stuff like that. So. But alright, so Psylocke is pretty much ready. Base is looking good. Just got to do my priming and cleaning, and then I got to still kind of clean her up a little bit more, and then I'll start the video series on her. Yeah, I'm happy I went ahead and did this with the tree. I was pretty scared the way it was. So now, like, you know, I mean, you can still break this if you really do it, but I'm not concerned, like, if you do this now, you know, and it's a little bit more friendly to pop in and out. You know, I'm not worried about, and even, you know, we got the rods going in the sashes as well, so I don't have to worry about them sagging or breaking. So she's pretty solid now. So I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, I'm gonna next week. One day I'm gonna do a garage day next week since we got the warm weather. I'm gonna sit there and chop up a whole bunch of statues and start prepping kits. But I also need to do a day of cleaning the garage. So I might do all that chopping first and the next day clean. But I really want to prime this up and I really want to buff it out and clean up all the base and get everything ready. And then I'm gonna start painting her up. I think I can move pretty fast on her if I get focused on it, you know, just really get focused and keep going. But that's kind of where we're at with Psylocke. I might have to throw some like a little bit of grease in here after I'm done painting, just so it kind of slides in a little bit better. I got white grease, just a tiny bit of white grease will probably help it. But, alright, so let's pull this off. Yeah, I went above and beyond with this base, making sure that this tree is secured. Also, just I finished up the hair on the Jean Grey for my friend. So this hair is pretty much all set up. Gonna start painting her up. I'll have this done hopefully next week. But it's fun doing these hair, you know, the ponytails with Jean Grey. Except I'm repainting the face on this one completely, so we'll see how this turns out. Alright, on to Harley. So this morning, I went ahead and I did the rods in here with this so I can at least have a starting point. I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but at least we got at least a starting point. The new X-Men show, I highly doubt it's going to be good at all because supposedly the guy who's doing it is already going on and on about activism, so I have a funny feeling that they're going to destroy the show already. I would love to just people make a show and not go into this whole activism thing. Just make the show, be quiet on social media, and just make a good show. But every video I watched about the X-Men cartoon, it's all about my activism stuff, so I don't have any hope for it. I don't have any hope for really much of anything that's being produced. That's why I'm buying up all the old stuff. I got a nice Bronze Age list of books I'm trying to buy up. I figured let me get all these Bronze Age books now while I can, because all the new stuff is being slowly eroded. It's like a modern day book burning. So I saw now that there's articles that they're complaining about Catwoman artwork, you know, on the Catwoman comic books. So it's just a sign of the times. You better buy up the old stuff while you can. I even saw a video where that movie Lilo and Stitch, the Lilo and Stitch. It's funny. What was it? It was on Instagram. Some lady was showing her VHS tape of Lilo and Stitch, where I guess Stitch hid in the dryer. But now the new versions of it that you watch online, it's a cabinet. They took away the dryer because that's dangerous. So yeah, the whole Mario thing. You know what's gonna happen now is comic books are gonna go away, and it's all gonna be video game stuff. I was actually talking about this last stream. We're gonna have the age of video games now. That's what's probably gonna happen. So it's going to be like the age of video games, and comic books are going to go away. And I kind of hope this happens because maybe comic books will go back the way they used to be, and people won't cry about everything now. So maybe comic books will be like pushed aside, and it'll be good stuff again, and everybody will bitch about video game stuff for like 10 years. So I'm kind of hoping that's the case. You know what it is the things you love that become popular now, Twitter complains about it, and then they dictate what it should be done. So the stuff that's not popular is the stuff that's really good, so. Well, they've been trying to destroy games for a while. I stopped playing video games, I don't know, years back because it became dumbed down. People bitched and complained, you know, too violent, too this, too that. I don't know. So that's why I hope comic books go back to being a thing where nobody really cares about them. So let them bitch about video games for a while. I'll be happy. Well, see, Raccoon, that's the funny thing. What it is these corporations think that because that's what is trending, that's what they're supposed to cater to, and that's not the way it works, you know? They're trying, Iceman. They're, what is it now? I heard that, Grand Theft Auto 6 now is gonna be, dumbed down big time. They want to stop, they're also bitching about manga books now and stuff because of the way Japan, you know, they don't care. They'll do whatever the hell they want. Yeah, but the problem with the indie games is if enough people on Twitter cry about it, places like Steam and stuff will take it off their platform. I don't know. Like I said, let them destroy all the video games because I still have all my Nintendo, GameCube, Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64 systems. I got all those systems and games. I got Game Boy. So I'm hoping they destroy video games and they cry about it because all that stuff is going to skyrocket on eBay and I can get rid of it all. So I welcome them crying about it because people will start going back and buying the old stuff. You gotta play the game now. Whatever Twitter bitches about, the old stuff kind of goes up in price. Just like some of the older comic books. You know, I've met a couple people that are like, you know, they'll go and buy all the old stuff. Yeah, Rukin, that's kind of what companies should do, but I don't know. I don't know. Just like whatchamacall, I was telling my friend earlier, he showed me some new covers of DC's comic books with Power Girl on there, and the new Power Girl outfit is just so, I just don't like it at all. I'm not saying it's a bad design, but it's just not her character, so But when I was reading on social media, it was like, oh, you know, her old outfit was designed by a man. It's a comic book. It's a fantasy world comic book. It doesn't need to be real. Iceman, that's the problem. A lot of the, I just saw an article today that over in Japan, a lot of people are losing their jobs because of the video games, because AI is creating it all now. That's another problem. I don't know. The whole world's going to shit. What can I say? I'll probably get kicked off YouTube for that too. Yeah, you know how, what was it, a couple streams ago you guys were telling me about the AI artwork and stuff, so I started looking into it. And what I did is on Instagram, I actually started looking up AI artwork just to see what it looks like. And now everything on my feed is AI artwork, and there is so much of that out there, it's unreal. Now, I'm not saying all of it is bad. Some of it is actually pretty good, but you can tell it's AI, and you guys were right. You can tell it is AI artwork. Like, you can look at it and you can go, that's AI. And you can look at someone like Adam Hughes, Terry Dotson, Olivia de Bovarnis. You know, you can look at all these other artists and you know it's their style and that's their art. You know, you can pick their artwork out of like a hat. But with AI artwork, it all just looks exactly the same. I don't know. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. It's kind of funny too, you know, like back in the day when you would work at a job after college, at least when I graduated college, you'd have whatchamacallit, you'd have a workforce of like, you know, 500 people, 30 people in a department, and then computers came along, and the computers pretty much, you know, did the workforce of 300 people in one program. So that's kind of what AI is doing now. Changing times. I don't know. I'm still in the, I don't know about you guys. I'm still in the camp that would like I still like traditional artwork. I like to see the people do it. Well, yeah, well, I mean, you figure when I graduated art school, when I was in art school, traditional illustration was still a thing. But when I actually graduated, Photoshop took over real fast. So people who used to do like freelance illustration, pretty much kind of had to shift to Photoshop. So that's kind of what happened with that. I mean, they still had work to do, but it took away the whole traditional stuff. Yeah, pretty soon in a couple years, I'll be streaming, and I'll just be plugging in keywords to a program, and then all of a sudden, boom, we get a sculpt, and we hit print. That'll be the future of the channel. We'll be eating Soylent Green for those who might know what that is. And just plugging in keywords. I don't know, Iceman. If you look at some of this 3D artwork that's out there now, the details are pretty damn good. There's already, you know what I'm also seeing now too? Have you guys seen it? It's popped up in my feeds. So they'll have an anime girl, and then that anime girl's like in a swimsuit, and then it sort of turns her, and it's like a animation, and it's like animating her into different poses, but each outfit is sort of turning into a different outfit. I mean, I think that's all AI artwork, if I'm not mistaken. So if they could start turning the figure with the outfits and details, 3D sculpting will kind of hit that soon. I don't know, I think so, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a revolution. Maybe people will just be like, you know what, I'm not interested in this AI stuff, and they'll just ignore it. Who knows? It's going to be fun to see how it all works out over the next couple years. I'm just here for the ride. We'll see what happens. I'm Gen X, and they say Gen X is the generation that doesn't give a crap about anything. So, it's kind of how I feel. I laugh at everything, but it really doesn't affect me that much. I just like to see people lose their minds over the dumbest crap in the world. That kind of makes me laugh. Yeah, new artists probably will have a tough time, but if they work their asses off and they create a style, you know, and if there's always going to be some people that enjoy it, you know, you might not be you know, a crazy famous artist, but you still might have a following, you know. You don't have to be the top artist in the world, but you can still have people support you in a way. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, for all we know, the AI could just take over the world and be Skynet, and we'll all just be blown up, and they'll just be end it all. So maybe Terminator was right. You never know. Musk is an alien. That dude probably already knows what will happen if AI takes over. So. That's okay, Raccoon. I mean, at least you're doing something. It's better than most people. I started off with comic books too. All my stuff looked like, who did I follow mostly when I started drawing? Probably a lot of Ron Lim stuff maybe in the beginning. But then the 90s came, and then there was the flux of Jim Lee and McFarlane stuff. Gonna have to drum out this chunk here because I'm gonna bend it too much. This is gonna be in a building each section a little bit at a time type hair. So it's not gonna happen in one shot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it really puffy up here, but I'll be building different strands as I go. So this is just kind of the start. So as a side note, I've been watching, while I was working on my TV room, I've been watching a lot of these influencers now for comic books, just to see what the market's been doing. And I'm actually pretty, I'm not actually surprised really, because a lot of people were falling into that trap of, oh my god, this is the next character being in the TV show or movie, I gotta get their first appearance comic book. And all these people overspent for all these comics, and now they're all tanking. I'm actually not surprised, but it's actually kind of funny to watch. I don't know if you guys watch any of that stuff or into it, but it's kind of crazy what's going on with the comic market. Well, that's what I'm doing too. I'm going back for my favorite stories. I'm collecting higher end copies of what I've already had. I want to get like the higher end copy. It's kind of like, what do they call it? Uprating your comic to a better quality one. So I kind of been doing that stuff. But at least a lot of the stuff I want isn't that expensive. And it's not popular. Yeah, Rook, and that's also the other problem. So that's kind of why I'm picking up a lot of the older stuff. I figure get that stuff now while I can, because there might be a wake up sooner or later with people and they'll realize. I'm actually having pretty fun going to like a lot of comic book shows again. Trying to find some of this older stuff in good condition. Cause a lot of stuff I had, I read the hell out of that stuff when I was younger. So it's time to get some better quality copies. Plus I want to display a couple good ones, so. Yeah, a lot of the Kickstarters and stuff. That's always good. That's how you get started. You know, you make your own type of comic. Hopefully you get a following. I'm sure a lot of this Kickstarter stuff will blow up. Like, you know, stuff that's coming out that people don't realize now, and then like watching like a year or two, all of a sudden everybody discovers like this older Kickstarter stuff they didn't even know happened. Will probably be like really popular. So, you never really know what's going to happen, especially with comics. Yeah, I'm sure they're listening to my channel. They're probably like, that guy is a problem. He keeps on sculpting characters. They don't want people to know about that. The other thing too, I was kind of curious about. I don't know if you guys are into DC at all, but since Power Girl's back, I was looking at some of the Action Comics. I know a while back DC mandated that there was too many Kryptonians, but now I look at the DC Comics and there's like 30 Kryptonians running around. So I'm kind of curious of what the hell happened. Maybe that was under the old AT&T brand, I guess, maybe. They decided to only have so many, but now Discovery has them. There's like 50 million of them running around. I don't know. So out of touch with the new stuff. I'm trying to catch up a little bit here and there, but every time I do, it's kind of scary what the hell's going on. Final Crisis, yeah, I think it was Final Crisis, because I love Infinite Crisis. That's probably my favorite one. Infinite Crisis was supposedly to kind of clean up the whole multiverse, to create only 52 Earths. But then, I think they brought all that stuff back again. I don't know. I think when AT&T bought DC, that's kind of when it all went downhill. They were more focused on politics than actual comics. So I hope Discovery cleans everything up. Yeah, they had a lot of Kryptonians there for a while, and I think there was like a mandate that, like, you know, it defeats the purpose of Superman being the last, you know, son. So I know they cleaned it up there, but I think when AT&T bought out DC, they kind of went crazy again. So now there's a lot of them back again. That's the other thing too, is I think people forget that AT&T owned DC for a while. So a lot of the stuff out there is AT&T's fault, not Discovery. So I always tell people are complaining that Discovery's killing DC, but they bought it like the way it is. They're not doing it. So Raccoon, from what I understand, he still is. But he started off with the movies first. Because I guess that's where the money is. If you think about it, that's where the money is. If you're going to clean house, you're going to start off with the movies. The movies is what's going to bring you in the money. The comic books are not a moneymaker. They never have been. The comic books are just there for, like, I don't know, just for a side thing, just to kind of get exposure. It's kind of like an advertising tool. But the movies is where they're going to make their money. So that's why they brought in James Gunn, and they're going to do that whole thing. So that's kind of what that's about. But I've noticed, though, that since Discovery took over, a lot of the old characters that were, like, gone, like AT&T just completely got rid of these characters, they're all coming back again. Like the old JSA characters, you know, some other characters that have just been shelved for so long are all back again. So I think they're starting to really get these characters back out into the exposure. So, and I noticed they got a bunch of old writers again that I used to love are back, even though they're really older now and they're kind of. But I guess they try to get a couple of the old guys back again. Because a lot of the new writers have no clue what any of these characters are about. They've never read an old comic in their life and they just make stuff up. So I don't know, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I heard about that where they share desks now. Yeah, because comic books aren't their priority. It's the movies. Yeah, AT&T really messed up DC because when AT&T took over, they literally just like hired people and let them do whatever the hell they wanted. They had no mandate or anything. They just said have fun. And like people like Jim Lee is what is he, like the editor in chief or something for DC? To me, he's an artist. He's not an editor in chief. So I think that was probably a bad decision too. And like I said, he's a great artist, but I think some of the decisions he made probably were bad. Just like when they put Quesada in Marvel, I was like, I think he destroyed comic books for me at the time. So. Yeah, one of the things I think DC made a mistake on too under AT&T is they were doing all those statues. But the goal for those statues was out of sight, out of mind. So they were just pumping out all those DC statues like crazy, and I think that was killing their profits because nobody was buying them after a while, and they would just end up on sales. So I don't know. I mean, but this is stuff that we can see. There probably was more to it that we don't know, but you never know. Nah, I think they just gave him a nice steady paycheck and they just said, here, have fun with it, you know? I don't know. I have no clue. All the old writers, all the old artists are moved on. They moved on to other things. The people who wrote these characters and know them inside and out are just gone. So, we could just sit here and bitch and moan all we want. It's over. Who knows? Maybe if his contract is up, he might go back tomorrow. Who the hell knows? I don't know. To me, I loved it when they all left Marvel and DC and they created Image. It was like a really great time. But then the big two realized how much they screwed up, and then they started throwing money at them, and they all went running back, except for McFarlane. So that's why I got a lot of respect for McFarlane. He might have done a cover here or there, but he stuck with his toy line and his own thing. Everybody else got that paycheck, so they ran. That was a hell of a time in comic books, I'll tell you. That was like unheard of at the time. Oh my god, these guys left and created Image. Yeah, that's true. Well, at the end of the day, like I always say, I blame Canada. It's Canada's fault. Canada ruins everything. Yeah, I went to the one comic book convention where you had to get the tickets from the Wizard magazine. I think it was Wizard at the time. It might have been a different magazine. And I remember it was in I think it was in New York. And I remember going to the comic book show and I waited online to see McFarlane to get his signature. And I remember every single booth had piles and piles of Image comic books. Like, I mean, the new #1 was just like stacks. Just, they weren't even bags and boards. They were just in boxes, and they were like, it was crazy show. There was so much Image books in this show, and they were just pumping them out, just selling them for like dirt cheap. But I was a kid in a candy store. I was buying everything up. I was like, holy shit, I never seen this in my comic book store, you know, and just, you know, because they had variant covers, they had foil covers. It was mind blowing as a kid. You know, they had ash can issues. They had it was just insane. I mean, it was, you know, going to a comic book store as a kid was something amazing, but going to a show and seeing stuff you would never ever see at a store, it was mind blowing at the time. And I met McFarlane. I waited in line for like an hour. Met him. He talked about hockey, which I had no clue what the hell he was talking about hockey, but I had him sign my Spawn, and I had him sign my Spider-Man with Hydro Man on the cover that he did. And then, and I had them graded. They were high grades with CGC back in the day. And then I lost my job in 2012 and I had to sell them off. For a while there too, as I got older and I started going to comic book shows like Wizard World and stuff, the guys at my comic book store would like start giving me lists to go get them stuff because they would have all those exclusive, or they would give out a free comic, stuff like that. So that was kind of like a big thing then too. It's a good little side hustle. Go to a show, pick up a couple things, and sell it to the guys at the store. And then eBay came along and killed everything. Yeah, I didn't meet any of the other guys back then. I just went online and I got McFarlane, and then after that I was just so mesmerized by all the comic books, I didn't care about any other artists. I just wanted to get all those cool comics. And that was it. I don't own any of them anymore. They're all gone from my collection, but it's a fun time. You met Jim Lee? Because I know the one time I was going to meet him, I think it was at a Wizard World. It might have been the Philadelphia one. He was only going to be on like signing for like 2 hours, and the line like 4 hours before the signing was already like all the way around the building. So I was like, yep, not gonna wait for that signature. Yeah, I don't really think I didn't like Rob Liefeld's artwork. Out of all those guys that left Marvel that started Image, Liefeld was the one I wasn't really into. A guy at my comic book store absolutely loved Liefield's artwork, but I kept telling him, I'm like, he doesn't draw feet. Like, you'll never see a foot or a background in any of his work. And he would just go on and tell me, like, oh, you're a hater, blah, blah, blah. You know, typical. But that was because I was in art school at the time, too. And, you know, I brought in the comic books to my one elective professor, and he was like, yeah, there's no hands or feet here. And I was like, holy shit, you're right. And he's like, yeah, there's no background. They're floating in the background. So he was like, yeah, this is why you don't learn art from comics. He's like, you gotta learn artwork from, you know, the old masters. I was like, ah, okay. But I mean, back then you didn't have the internet, so who the hell knew, you know? You just thought that that was the way things were. Alright, I'm not going to be able to do the other hair like this today because I'll screw it up. So I can only do one section today. And then we'll start building off of that afterwards. And all this will get chopped up. It's a good start. I know it's not like the artwork on the screen. I'm gonna do my little twist on it, but I'm gonna chop all this out over here, chop out some of this around there, and then what I'll do is I'll start building other strands around and make it puffy around here and make it puffy back here. So it's gonna be really puffy here, I think. But we'll just kind of do like waves and strands and just keep going. A little bit at a time, so we'll let this kind of cure up for today. I'll try to chop up some of that. Next week we can build out this section. If during the weekday, if I have time to like do some sculpting at night, maybe I'll start the stream and kind of plug away on this a little bit. And then what we'll do is we'll get the hair really built up. I think for the pieces here, what we'll do at the end is maybe wrap rope around it. You know, I'll put a little dab of glue and we'll wrap rope around there. And I think it'll be really nice and puffy hair. Kind of will look pretty good. Excuse me. Oof, something to drink. I'm gonna try to. I gotta write myself a note to get the pieces for the mallets. And then I gotta get this piece on here too. I keep forgetting to Dremel this out, so I gotta get that shield on her shoulder. But yeah, looks a little weird back here, but we'll fix that up. Gotta do a priming session, get it all primed up and cleaned, and then from there, just kind of plug away. Alright, that's where I'm going to cut the stream now. Sorry, I don't have anything else. I got to really start prepping up stuff for more streams. I'm going to try to plan out the next character too. We'll put it on Patreon and vote. Either we'll do 7 of 9, or we'll do the Poison, or maybe both, or the other character I'm thinking about. So I'll get that up on Patreon, so once we get this painted, start painting, we can also do some sculpting. Alright, you guys, you have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you during the week.